Guten Tag und willkommen zu dieser Ausgabe der Tourismus-Namibia-Sendung. Wieder einmal haben wir Topics, Destinations und natürlich To the Point für Sie mit dabei. Mein Name ist Frank Steffen und ich werde Sie durch diese Show begleiten. Als erstes haben wir natürlich Topics. Ja, sehr interessant. NWR, das ist Namibia Wildlife Resorts, das ist der staatliche Gästebetrieb. Die haben ein Abkommen mit NUST geschlossen. Also NUST ist die Namibia University for Science and Technology. Und da geht es eben ganz genau darum, sie haben Kooperationsvereinbarungen getroffen. Da geht es darum, dass die NUST 634 NWR-Mitarbeiter ausbilden will, um die Leistungen im Gastgewerbe- und Tourismussektor eben zu verbessern. Und von diesen wurden bereits 75 in der Kundenbetreuung und 55 als Köche ausgebildet. Und die Vereinbarung umreißt ein Programm der Zusammenarbeit zwischen den beiden Einrichtungen, das die berufliche Weiterbildung des Personals, die Entwicklung von Lehrplänen, die Aufnahme von Studenten für arbeitsintegriertes Lernen, Forschung und die gemeinsame Nutzung von Forschungseinrichtungen umfasst. Also ein ziemlich aufwendiges Programm. Aber gute Nachricht für uns alle, denn NWR geht ja manchmal am Stock, wenn es um den Service geht. Ja, und dann haben wir die Fenata-Erhebung, also das hatten wir ja schon mal angedeutet in einer vorigen Show. Und um die tatsächlichen Einnahmen, die von den Tourismusunternehmen nach Namibia gebracht werden, durch glaubwürdige Statistiken zu ermitteln, hat Fenata eine unabhängige Stelle beauftragt, die in diesem Prozess absolute Vertraulichkeit gewährleisten kann oder soll, um die erforderlichen Informationen zusammenzustellen. Und nach Angaben von Fenata, das ist natürlich der Dachverband für Tourismusunternehmen, beruhen die Regierungszahlen für den Tourismus auf den Einnahmen von Hotels und Restaurants. Also die ausgewählten Berater, Storm, sollen nun ein System entwickeln, das diese vertrauliche Erfassung relevanter Informationen aus allen Sektoren der Branche in einer Form ermöglicht, damit die gesammelten Daten in künftigen Diskussionen mit Regierungsbehörden und anderen Interessenträgern verwendet werden können. Also deswegen werden auch alle Fenata-Verbände, die als Beherbergungsbetriebe, Reiseveranstalter, natürlich Autovermietungen, Flugcharterunternehmen und auch professionelle Jagdführer und Reisebüros oder Reiseveranstalter, wer immer darin tätig ist, wird gebeten, den entsprechenden Fragebogen einzufüllen und abzugeben natürlich. Ja, und dann haben wir interessant Elefantenkorridore. Das Thema hatten wir schon mal gebracht. Da hatten wir sogar die Karte, wo man genau eine Elefantenkuh mitverfolgen konnte. Und es geht eben darum, dass die Elefanten regelmäßig die Grenzen von Farmen beschädigen, indem sie eben die Zäune überqueren oder eben einfach nur die Infrastruktur beschädigen. Und um das Ganze ein bisschen unter Kontrolle zu bringen, weil diese Elefanten ja oft in Reaktionen erschossen oder eben entfernt werden, um das Ganze unter Kontrolle zu bringen, gibt es die sogenannte Corridor Project, und die arbeiten an nachhaltigen Lösungen, die sowohl den Elefanten als auch den Menschen eben zugutekommen sollen, indem eben die Daten über Elefantenbewegungen gesammelt werden und ausgewertet werden und dann eben Hotspots ermittelt werden, damit dieses Durchbrechen von Zäunen eben verhindert werden kann. Und ERA ist mal wieder voll dabei, das ist natürlich unsere Elephant-Human Relation Aids, also geht es da um den Tier-Mensch-Konflikt. Ja, und das sind unsere Topics diesmal. Als nächstes haben wir die Destinations. Ja, als erstes haben wir diesmal bei Destinations die Sandwich Dune Tours und Safaris. Sie werden sich erinnern, letztes Jahr haben wir schon mal über die berichtet. Also die Mitinhaberin von Sandwich Dune Tours, die sind da oben an der Ecke da beim Hafen zu sehen. In dem Fall die Mitarbeiterin ist die Helga Kapitako, erzählt uns mehr darüber, wie das Unternehmen sich eben nach Covid-19 erholt hat und von den neuen Strategien, die in der Tourismusbranche angewendet werden. Ihr Büro befindet sich, wie Sie da oben sehen, gleich so ein Stück hoch mit der Straße am Yachtclub vorbei und einfach zu finden, denn es gibt nur einen Weg dahin. Ja, und dann haben wir Ihnen natürlich auch ein Video mitgebracht.
Hi, my name is Helga, and we are from Sandwich Dune Tours and Safaris. We're the tour operator, activity provider here in Walfish Bay at the waterfront. We are based at the waterfront in Walfish Bay. All right, we specialize in the tours to Sandwich Harbour, which has been now the most popular excursion here at the coast. We also do boat cruises, kayaking, tours around Namibia, as well as the tour to our most popular, the Skeleton Coast tours. Well, as you know that Walfish Bay was one of ground zero. So COVID-19 hit us very hard. We were closed for a whole about 6 weeks, not even 6 weeks, 6 months, I'll say. So coming from COVID, seasons have changed. We had our high peak seasons in August going to December, but now March, we have seen March, the influx of tourists coming in now in March and going out to May. So we have a full bookings. We say we are full booking to up to September or so. So yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good, and we're happy that the tourists are coming back. Most of our tourists come from Europe. We have a new market that is open, which is the Russian market, the East Europe market. So yeah, what can I say? Well, we are fortunate that the tourists are coming back to Namibia. Namibia is one of the most beautiful country and the most sought out country. All the tourists are very interested in Namibia because mostly because our vast environment or beautiful, clean environment. How we're recovering from COVID is well, with the Namibian Ministry of Environment, with their initiative of opening doors before COVID, we normally looked at our marketing experts, and also the local market really helped us during COVID, and also still doing that because we have this tourism initiative with the locals, and they are now really in love with their own country. They get to explore their own country. That's one of how we are recovering from COVID, really, as well as the new inter-African market, inter-African tourism, where the African countries or the African tourists are now interested in visiting their own countries or their own African countries instead of going to the Europe or going to Dubai and all that. So yeah, really love traveling on the holidays or week. Easter, yeah. Yeah, we have full bookings coming in Easter, where we actually doing specials for our locals, where we drop down our prices so that our local people can also enjoy tourism or their own country, I'll say. But we have guys from Botswana, South Africa, which are very love our coastal towns of Swakopmund and Walfish Bay. So yeah. Local guys who want to travel to come to the coast. I know that you guys always see the prices of our excursions that God, it's a lot of money. What we do, we have packages or we have payment terms where you can always pay in advance or pay deposits until the day that you decide that you're coming. So don't be afraid to come and experience your own country. It's a beautiful country. Namibia is blessed, and Walfish Bay, Swakopmund, our Namib Desert is a vast desert which is you need to explore it. So don't miss out on these excursions.
Ja, und das ist Sandwich Dune Tours und Safari. Wie gesagt, wir hatten die schon mal letztes Jahr bei der großen Versammlung in Lüderitz, hatten wir sie mit dabei, als wir da mehr berichtet haben über die Han-Konferenz. Als nächstes haben wir Indulgence Spa. Das erkunden wir, das ist einfach eine Wellness-Einrichtung, die hier in Windhoek West zu finden ist. Also hier ist es kurz eingezeichnet. In Windhoek natürlich, in der Beethovenstraße, von Gerichtsbehandlung, ja, von Gesichtsbehandlung bis hin zu Bikini-Waxing bietet Indulgence Spa alles, was Sie brauchen. Und diesmal begleitet sie Jemima Ndebele, meine Kollegin, die zusammen mit einer der Angestellten, Rejoice, die verschiedenen Elemente des Spas erkunden. Gucken Sie sich das Video an.
Hi, my name is Jemima Ndebele and you are watching Tourismus. This week we will be exploring the wonderful establishment that is of course Indulgence Spa, a spa and wellness center located in the heart of Windhoek, situated next to Palm Hotel in Windhoek West. So if you're looking to unwind and relax, make sure to make a quick stop right here. But before then, let's head into a quick conversation with one of the employees, Rejoice, that will be telling us a little bit more about their wonderful establishment. Hi Rejoice, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. Could you tell me a little bit more about Indulgence Spa? How long have you been here for starters?
I'll say 2 months in total because it started off where I started my journey at Okakarara Vocational Training Center in the field of cosmetology. And I had to come on job attachment. That's where I found out about Indulgence Spa. So I applied and finally I'm here, which is an overwhelming experience for me myself, as well as giving it off to people through passion. Yeah.
And what would you say you love most about your working experience here at Indulgence?
Putting my clients first.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what is your day-to-day like? What is it that the services that you guys have to offer? If I am coming from a stressed and a long work week and I come by Indulgence, what can I expect? What is the service and treatment I can expect here?
If you had a long and stressful working day, I would advise my client as a walking to mostly go for a deep tissue massage, whereby we'll be more in connecting with your muscles and as a relief for you yourself. We also have holistic massages, which is a Swedish, where that's not for stress, that's most for relaxation. We also offer facial services as well as wax.
Wax?
Yes.
And do you guys offer bikini waxes? Because the girls gotta know.
We offer both. There's bikini as well as Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you say is the difference?
Hollywood is whereby we go through the whole process, like cleaning you, and whereby bikini is I'm just cleaning you on your sides.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a difference because with the Hollywood, I'm just on the sides, like going in and all.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yes.
And I see there's a pool here. Is the service then also open to? Is the pool then also open to the use of your clients?
Yes, on some days, but it's mostly for the area where we are. But we do offer it to our clients.
And what is the price range when it comes to, is it, if I am a student, for instance, is it soft on my pocket? Can I afford to treat myself here at Indulgence Spa?
Our prices are really not that high. It compromises us both sides, unemployed as well as employed. So when setting our prices, we're more on targeting everybody and not just earning people. Yes, so I'll say the price range is good for everybody. Students, working, pensioners, everybody.
And what are your operating hours? Or is it like a Monday to Friday, 8 to 5, or?
We operate Monday to Sunday, 9 o'clock to 7 p.m.
9 o'clook to 7 p.m. So
Yes.
you can come in after work and
You
have
can
a
come in
session?
after work, have your session, go home relaxed and all. It's a 24 hours, not say 24 hours, but it's a whole week process. Like we are open.
And how many people are employed here?
We are 4 here, but we actually have 2 branches. One is here and the other one is at Westlake Center. There are also people employed there.
And what would you say sets Indulgence Spa apart from other spas and wellness center? What makes it special?
Putting our clients first, giving them treatment through passion and not just giving it for the fact of giving it. Because if you have to come for relaxation, me myself as your therapist, I have to be in connection with you as I'm giving you your treatment. I'm not trying to say we stand out from all the other spas, but I believe we give it through passion. Yeah.
And that is what makes you different.
Yes.
And what would you then like to, is there any last words that you would like to leave prospective clients with that are watching?
For those that are watching, I would just like to say we are open. Like, it's for you to make a booking, for you to get your service and go home relaxed, free from your stresses and all.
And could you perhaps give our viewers a number on which they can reach you, or a social media platform?
Our social media platform is on Instagram as well as on Facebook, Indulgence Spa.
Thank you so much for your time, Rejoice. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking to relax, unwind, be it on a Monday or even a Sunday, Indulgence Spa is the place for you, as they operate all throughout the week, giving you services of full body massages, facials and even waxes.
Ja, und das war Indulgence Spa, und dann haben wir zuletzt noch To the Point. Ja, und Sie wissen, letzte Woche hatten wir eben den ersten Teil unter To the Point. Da ging es um das Interview mit dem Geschäftsführer des Namibia-Tourismusrates, Digu Naobeb, der sich nach 15 Jahren an der Spitze des Unternehmens entschlossen hat, NTB eben zu verlassen. Und letzte Woche ging es in erster Linie über die Erfolge und Herausforderungen. Und diesmal geht es nun auf Teil 2 weiter. Was kam danach?
Industry, even though they are individually or privately owned, because in terms of capacitating them with skills, market access, and sometimes some don't also have funding access, because when you look at countries like South Africa, Department of Tourism has funding programs that are specifically earmarked for previously disadvantaged people, either to start up businesses, and once they start up, they get funding to be able to do market access through trade fairs and things like that. So that lack in Namibia is lacking, and of course NTB being underfunded, even though it's not their mandate, has in a way tried to support that ventures, but unfortunately our funding is limited, so we had sort of abandoned that approach. So we need to rethink in terms of a new dimensions, and therefore even our national tourism policy needs to be reviewed to include all these aspects. How can we better improve tourism so that it benefits the greater society of the country? The other achievements that we have done is when we started off, as far as the tourism arrival data is concerned, in 2003 we almost had only about 300,000 tourist arrivals. By 2019 this figure was almost hovering about 1.6 million. Unfortunately, regrettably, we had COVID, so the figure has taken a nosedive, and we are now, when you look at the statistical arrivals of 2021, we are still hovering around figures that we had about 2003, which is almost closer to 300,000. So it is picking up, but of course, limitations that are there is the airlift, because we are probably now running at the flight capacity that we had pre-COVID, probably at 60%, because most of the airlines that flew directly to Namibia, such as KLM, Air Namibia, all those are defunct currently. So there are very few airlines servicing now Namibia. In fact, if you look at the Johannesburg, we used to have 12 flights a day between 4 or 5 airlines that were shared, which is British Air Namibia, South African Airways, South African Express. But now we are down to 4 flights a day. So these are things that still are bogging down in terms of tourism recovery. When we then look at business ownership in tourism industry, back in then when we started registering tourism businesses, we had around 500 businesses altogether across all subsectors of the tourism industry. We are currently talking about tourism businesses in the region of about 5,600 in all, if you combine in all subsectors of the tourism industry. However, the representation geographically is very skewed still. You have quite a number of tourism businesses in the Erongo region, in Khomas region, and partly in Othodiba region. Your Omaheke region for per se, as well as Omaheke, Ohangwena, Omusati, those areas are still underdeveloped. So again, there's an issue of regional councils, especially stepping in terms of their economic development in the regions to see how can we bolster and boost tourism development in those regions, because this cannot only be driven by the national government or the Namibia Tourism Board, because the government has actually decentralized some of the activities, and therefore regional councils and town councils have a pivotal role to play within tourism development in terms of infrastructure and product development. So this is again a missing link in this that needs to somehow be worked on, and so that we could have a comprehensive plan and alignment. How can we, if tourism is to benefit local populace, develop tourism in these areas? So that is also something that is a challenge also currently for the tourism industry, not only for Namibia Tourism Board per se. Again, the other challenge is the tourists, in terms of their appetite, has shifted. Previously, really, the concentration was on wildlife and on scenery, but people are looking for cultural experiences. And this is an area we are still lacking. And definitely it's an area, I believe, that previously disadvantaged people need to play a role, because most of them are practicing currently their traditional customs and norms. So, and they have that knowledge to be able to package these products and then to work with the tourism supply chains. How can they then profile this industry? In fact, there is a new wave of tourism development going on called agri-tourism. And within agri-tourism, it does not simply mean you have to have a functional working farm. It could be the traditional norms, how people were producing medicine, using herbs and all these type of things, could also form part of this kind of an activity. So again, a lot of knowledge needs to be gained and shared with the people. And unfortunately, this is also again not so much a role of Namibia Tourism Board, because we are not responsible in terms of our mandate for a product development. But these are things that we are picking up. However, there has to be a driving element or an association or a government department or a directorate that needs to do that. So we need to again look at, in terms of organizational structures within the tourism industry, what can be done so that we can be able to piggyback on this type of opportunities that are existing. Maybe as a last, we had implemented tourism levies. Mm-hmm. And by 2019, we almost collected about $45 million Namibian dollars. Tourism levies represents almost about 90% of our income streams. Well, government does the government funding, but most of it for the last 5 years has been a $3 million, which again is about 5% representation. And that's why we had a challenge when we got COVID in 2020. We had to then dig into our reserves. If you could look at our financials, we were overspending badly in terms of expenditure and income. But the expenditure was cushioned with the reserves that we had built up over time. And we could then survive the turmoil of COVID. Although towards 2020, we could see the pinch, and that's why we had to ask government for extra assistance in terms of funding. But today, as I speak, in 2020, we had collected about 8 million Namibian dollars in terms of levies. That tells you significantly the reduction from 45 million in 2019 to an 8 million. That is more than 95% deduction that we got, or reduction that we got. And then in 2021, we then moved to 18 million. And 2020, we then raised about 28 million. Now, as we speak, when this financial year ends end of March, within next 3 days, we are projecting to end at 42 million Namibian dollars, which is almost shy of 3 million than what we have collected in 2019 in terms of COVID. We are projecting for the next financial year starting April 2023 to surpass the 2019 amount of 45 million. So you can see in terms of the short span from 2020 up to 23, it took us about 3 years for us to recover. And that is actually significantly in line with the tourism recovery rate that we are having. So Namibia is rebounding faster than we have expected than when you look at some other destinations. So what I could say then is, whenever I am departing, NTB would be financially solid. And of course, we have also recruited staff members, so it will be in better hands. Because unlike the perceptions that are out there, that NTB has been run riot, that's why the CEO is jumping the ship, it is not. I have ensured to stabilize the ship, and whoever takes over would be in a better position, and it is up to him or her either to run dry the coffers. But I have ensured that the financial stability of Namibia Tourism Board has returned to the pre-COVID levels, or even probably beyond pre-COVID levels. So that is also what I want to really emphasize and underline, that we have been working around the clock to make sure NTB is robust and secure. So it's a lifeline going forward as an organization. However, the challenge is, as much as we are increasing the funds, in terms of doing marketing, that funds are not still enough. Because back in 2019, with 45 million, we could do more, as opposed to now. Because your British pound is currently sitting at about 22. Your euro is about 20. And then your US dollar is about hovering between 18 and 19, which was contrary a totally different picture in 2019. So still, as much as we have raised funds, due to increasing exchange rates, unfortunately we are linked to South African rands, we cannot control it, it is beyond our control. There has to be some form of funding. Either, my guess is, government increases the 3 million to cushion that. If government does not, alternatively, ways have to be looked at, either to raise the current levy, which only the accommodation establishments are paying, or to broaden the levy base to include tour operators and others who are currently not in the net of paying and collecting levies.
Okay, so what is next for you? When do you leave NTB, and what is your future plans?
Officially, my contract ends end of July 2023, and I made the commitment that I will serve out my contract, and of course the board is busy recruiting, and I'm hoping that my successor would be recruited before I depart, so that we could do smooth handover. But of course, if it not happens, then I don't know what the plans would be for board. For myself personally, well, I've been in the tourism industry. I am qualified in the tourism industry, where I hold master's degree in tourism management. So either I might go into consulting, or I might return to academia, where I am coming from, to see how can I contribute to human resource development. But on personal level, I intend to finalize or complete my PhD I've been working on, which I have never had time to really have a concrete focus on. So that is basically it.
Ja, Digu, der jetzt nach 15 Jahren eben mal was anderes unternehmen will, er deutete das schon letztes Jahr bei der Handkonferenz an, dass er nicht mehr ewig weitermachen will. Na gut, es gibt auch anderes, was er natürlich noch unternehmen kann. Der Mann ist recht fähig und wir wünschen ihm natürlich viel Glück auf dem weiteren Weg. Das wäre die Tourismus-Namibia-Sendung für heute. Ich verbleibe und wünsche Ihnen ein schönes Wochenende. Hoffe, Sie haben eine gute Woche vor sich, und dann sehen wir uns in einer Woche wieder. Bis dann. Tschüss.